Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we are reading through chapter 20 of Matthew's Gospel from the Word on Fire Bible. And encompassed with this is a couple of passages of commentary from both Bishop Robert Barron and St. John Chrysostom. The chapter is headed The Labourers in the Vineyard. For the kingdom of heaven is like a landowner who went out early in the morning to hire labourers for his vineyard. After agreeing with the labourers for the usual daily wage, he sent them into his vineyard. When he went out about 9 o'clock, he saw others standing idle in the marketplace and said to them, "You also go into the vineyard, and I will pay you whatever is right." So they went. When he went out again about noon, and about 3 o'clock he did the same, and about 5 o'clock he went out and found others standing around, and he said to them, "Why are you standing here idle all day?" They said to him, "Because no one has hired us." He said to them, "You also go into the vineyard." When evening came, the owner of the vineyard said to his manager, "Call the labourers and give them their pay, beginning with the last and then going to the first." When those hired about 5 o'clock came, each of them received the usual daily wage. Now when the first came, they thought they would receive more, but each of them also received the usual daily wage. When they received it, they grumbled against the landowner, saying, "These last worked only 1 hour, and you have made them equal to us, who have borne the burden of the day and the scorching heat." But he replied to one of them, "Friend, I am doing you no wrong. Did you not agree with me for the usual daily wage? Take what belongs to you and go. I choose to give to this last the same as I give to you. Am I not allowed to do what I choose with what belongs to me? Or are you envious because I am generous? So the last will be first, and the first will be last." While Jesus was going up to Jerusalem, he took the 12 disciples aside by themselves and said to them on the way, "See, we are going up to Jerusalem, and the Son of Man will be handed over to the chief priests and scribes, and they will condemn him to death. Then they will hand him over to the Gentiles to be mocked and flogged and crucified, and on the third day he will be raised." Then the mother of the sons of Zebedee came to him with her sons, and kneeling before him, she asked a favour of him. And he said to her, "What do you want?" She said to him, "Declare that these 2 sons of mine will sit, one at your right hand and one at your left, in your kingdom." But Jesus answered, "You do not know what you are asking. Are you able to drink the cup that I am about to drink?" They said to him, "We are able." He said to them, "You will need to drink my cup, but to sit at my right hand and at my left, this is not mine to grant, but it's for those for whom it has been prepared by my Father." Excuse me. When the 10 heard it, they were angry with the 2 brothers. But Jesus called them to him and said, "You know that the rulers of the Gentiles lord it over them, and their great ones are tyrants over them. It will not be so among you. But whoever wishes to be great among you must be your servant, and whoever wishes to be first among you must be your slave. Just as the Son of Man came not to be served, but to serve and to give his life a ransom for many." As they were leaving Jericho, a large crowd followed him. There were 2 blind men sitting by the roadside. When they heard that Jesus was passing by, they shouted, "Lord, have mercy on us, Son of David." The crowd sternly ordered them to be quiet, but they shouted even more loudly, "Have mercy on us, Lord, Son of Christ, Son of David." Jesus stood still and called them, saying, "What do you want me to do for you?" They said to him, "Lord, let our eyes be opened." Moved with compassion, Jesus touched their eyes, and immediately they regained their sight, and they followed him. So the commentary on this chapter. First, we have from Bishop Barron in relation to verses 1 to 16, fussing about rewards. A landowner goes out to hire workers for his field, hiring some the first thing in the morning, and then others at different times during the day. Then he pays each the same wage. Why should those who have worked only an hour be paid the same as those who have slaved in the hot sun all day? Is the landowner really being fair? Perhaps he saw something the first workers didn't see. Perhaps he saw in his compassion that their day spent waiting for work in order to feed their families was a terrible one, marked by anxiety and a sense of failure. Or perhaps he knew they were poorer, more desperate, or less gifted. Maybe he knew they needed a bit more encouragement. Here's a second perspective on this mysterious story. We sinners are very susceptible to a reward-centered understanding of our relationship to God. Tit for tat, I do this, then you better do that. But this is very juvenile. We've been invited to work in the vineyard of the Lord. That is the greatest privilege imaginable, to participate in the Lord's work of saving the world. Why are we fussing about rewards? And how liberating this is. I don't have to spend my life fussing and spying and worrying and comparing. And secondly, from Bishop Barron, wanting substitutes for God in relation to verses 20 to 28. The mother of James and John asked Jesus on their behalf to place them in high places in his kingdom. There are 4 classic substitutes for God: wealth, pleasure, power, and honour. The 2 brothers specifically want the last 2. Power is not in itself a bad thing, and the same is true of honour. Thomas Aquinas said that honour is the flag of virtue. It's a way of signalling to others something that's worth noticing. So then, what's the problem? The problem is that they are asking for these 2 things in the wrong spirit. The ego will want to use power not for God's purposes or in service of truth, beauty, and goodness, but for its own aggrandizement and defense. When honor is sought for its own sake or in order to puff up the ego, it becomes dangerous as well. What's the way out? Jesus tells us, "Whoever wishes to be great among you must be your servant, and whoever wishes to be first among you must be your slave." When you serve others, when you become the least, you are accessing the power of God and seeking the honor of God. And finally, from St. John Chrysostom in relation to verses 29 to 34, the 2 blind men. Let us listen to these blind men who saw better than many. They were not able to see the Lord when he came near, nor had they anyone to guide them. Nevertheless, they strove to approach, crying out in a loud voice, and when reproved for this, cried out all the more. For such is the nature of a persevering soul. It's borne up by the very things that hinder it. Thanks for listening.